Parental discretion is advised.
This show is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us and IndyWrestling.network for your independent wrestling entertainment. Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/Wrestling Mayhem Show.
Just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait, just wait. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back.
Hey everybody, is the Wrestling Mayhem Show over 830 Tuesdays. We've been talking about professionalized wrestling. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter, and this is something different this week. I am actually currently, if all things have gone well, sitting in San Diego. I don't know, maybe on the beach, maybe at the zoo. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have some stories. Maybe I found some professionalized wrestling. I don't know. Either way is I know I'm not doing the show this week, and I wanted to make sure we do have something on the feed for everybody. So I'm hanging with Bradley, an executive producer here in the Patreon. Bradley, hello.
Hello.
And Wicked's hanging out too, taking a little nap behind him. So there's that too.
There's a dog behind me. There's a little doggy behind me.
So of course we won't be commenting on whatever the news of the week is, whether it be CM Punk showing up on Monday Night Raw or Tony Khan submitting himself to rehab for too much cocaine. Whatever that news story is of the week that we are completely missing commenting on right now, don't worry about it because we have a show for you. Ignore all that. Ignore all the news that's really happening right now in the world. But anyways, I don't know. I thought it would be a good opportunity if we kind of looked back, and when we Bradley, we'll get your kind of response to some of these, because it has been a nutty freaking year. Of course, as we're recording this, let's just say it's 2 AEW Dynamites ago. We don't even know what's happening tonight. I think we've been through the first round of the Grand Slam Championship tournament, right? So. And we've had the Scrumpocalypse of CM Punk and the EVPs. We're about a month in, just past the first pay-per-view the Clash at the Castle with Triple H in charge. NXT just revealed a black and gold logo, whatever that means. We'll find out, or we found out by now. Who knows? The returns of takeovers just got announced with Halloween Havoc. So I thought it would be, I think we just forget. Because there's so much coming at us, right? And I thought it was interesting to kind of look back and just see, I remember in April us talking about what a crazy year this has been, right? For announcements and everything, right, Bradley?
Absolutely. This has been a year. This has been all kinds of stuff that you never thought would happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, sorry, taking a sip there. So let's go past first. Kind of the sad ones, of course. Scott Hall passed away this year. I keep forgetting that he passed away. It keeps I was listening to a DDP interview the other week or other day, or weeks ago at this point, I guess. And I forgot it, and that was a big thing for a week, I guess, right?
This is just a bad year for the social media attention span.
Oh, just in general, right? But that's what it is. It's a news cycle and everything, Yeah. There's there's not been a lack of things to write about for sure, right?
Absolutely.
So, another bad news. Big E breaks his neck. We know now that he probably might. Last I heard, he's healed up. He's good for day to day, but they want to look at him in a year for wrestling. Mm-hmm. That was a wild thing. He was on the come up. It looked like they were positioning him for maybe going for the championship or something at that point when he got injured. Right? If I do
he
recall.
Was in. It was going to be New Day versus the Ruffian. What are the Ruffians? Sheamus and
the Brutes. The Brawling Brutes. I think they are now.
Yeah. That was where they were going with this, and there was probably going to be the WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was leading into that, and then we had a version of that match I think at WrestleMania, if I recall. Obviously the Triple H situation early on, it seemed like he was out. What we're a year into, as we talked about as of this recording this week.
He had something happen to him. He didn't know if he was going to live.
Yeah, absolutely. That heart thing. This is a story from last year, but still he's been kind of recovering for much of the early part of this year and not terribly involved in day-to-day WWE action, right?
And then he not only does he get over it, but now he's in charge of whatever WWE does on TV.
Everything, basically. Everything that's important at WWE, he's in charge with.
Well, now he's in charge of creative.
He's not the most important thing in WWE, what is on TV, because everything else comes off of that.
The person that runs that, the two people, that's the most important position. They are the ones that say, Triple H, yes, you can do that.
Okay, but
yes, Triple H, you can go back to black and gold, and that's okay. You can do that.
Yes, Triple H, we can have more Latin and crossbones, Latin and skulls.
You can bring back Cross. That's okay. Let's do that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Looking back again earlier this year, of course, Ric Flair returns to the ring for one final match. That wasn't terribly long ago. It was brought up. there was a TikTok where somebody's interviewing Liv Morgan at the Clash of the Castles, media stuff, and they're like, "Did you watch Ric Flair's match?" And she kind of like, "Yes, I did. What'd you think?" Silence. You don't want to bear it because it's Ric Flair, right? So. But yeah, it's
well, half your bosses are Ric Flair. I mean, Triple H is a Ric Flair guy. Shawn Michaels is a Ric Flair guy. You don't want to say something
but generally you don't want to disparage a legend like that, on media, because now the dirt sheet sets a headline. Liv Morgan says Ric Flair sucks.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring has already disparaged Ric Flair plenty.
Absolutely.
So, what are you gonna do?
That was a thing this year, wasn't it? Was Tommy Dreamer getting thrown under the cancel bus for the plane ride from hell, Dark Side of the Ring? I think that was this year.
Yeah, boy, it's tough to tell, but yeah, he got thrown under for a while, and just him acting like what Ric Flair did on the airplanes, it's just boys being boys. It's just
yeah.
No, it's not.
He had a certain point, but it was definitely worded in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
So, and of course, it's something he probably recorded like a year ago. That caught up with him. So,
but he's not canceled. He's
no.
Other wrestlers are still talking to him on Twitter.
Momentarily canceled. Like I think he was let go from Impact over it. So,
he's not back.
I don't know.
There's some picture of him at Disney World. I don't know if that tells you. There's
a
picture of him at Disney World. Nobody else is there.
He wasn't banned from Disney World for saying something crappy on Vice, I don't think. So the dog's on the move, by the way. So he's very active. He went for a walk. He went for a walk to a new place today. So
okay.
Let's see what else we got here. The early MJF quote unquote pipe bomb. I'm still not convinced this was not a work.
Well, it was a work because he's back now.
He is back now, but that doesn't mean that doesn't prove that it wasn't a work then. Yeah. But I still believe that he's been part of the company. That's been the plan the whole time.
Oh, I believe that.
Up until the scrum that made everything fall apart.
It could have started with a rumor, and somebody says, "Oh wait, there's this rumor out there. Let's play with that. Let's go with it."
Mm-hmm. I play it up a little bit. The only thing that sticks in my craw a little bit is if it was a work the entire time, the Wardlow match being so flattened by it. I listened to a recent interview with him where he talked about how that was supposed to be a big moment, and he was just so pissed off about it. So
it all makes sense to me. I mean, if he's not going to be back for a while, then put over Wardlow, and everybody else is putting over Wardlow. Nobody's even giving him much of a fight right now.
You can put him over, but the way, do you remember how the match went? Like, it was just like a 2-minute squash.
It was.
Yeah.
Most of Wardlow's matches have been 2-minute squashes.
This is true. So
it works for me. I'm not going to go through this whole thing saying everything AEW works for me. No. But that works for me.
Nick Khan, wrong Khan. Tony Khan announcing he has purchased Ring of Honor. I believe right before WrestleMania, wasn't it?
It was. And he did the same look after he on the scrum after he said he wasn't to take that crap anymore. I think every once in a while he'll say something saying, "I just bought this." And he's looking around. And
Come at me, bro.
He's looking around. Like maybe he's looking for reactions. Are you reacting?
He is an overexcited fan. That's what that reaction is. Like he's somebody. Listen,
enthusiastic.
Bradley.
What?
Both of us, and you more so on tape, have had those moments around professional wrestling where we cannot control our emotions. Okay.
I will agree with that.
Yes.
I will agree it's on tape with me.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is. By the way, you look nice in a cowboy hat.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
The Cowboy Paul giveth and Alexander taketh away.
That is true. That is true. A lot of cowboy hatting. The Noir was rocking the cowboy look a few weeks ago. Anyways, yeah. So I love the Ring of Honor thing. You know, it's weird that we don't have separate TV. We've had 2 pay-per-views now this year. Of course, controversy around the Jonathan Gresham kind of reaction to drop into Claudio. But still, like, I'm loving that, you know, most recently as of this recording, we had a Pure Championship match headline Dynamite. We had a World Championship match both on, I believe, Dark and on Rampage in the last couple of weeks. Like, it's there, it's present. We're still bringing in Caprice and Bobby Cruz around these to keep the brand alive with it. Obviously, we're in like this kind of in-between space before they do get TV. Something is in the works, in negotiation. You know, hopefully we'll get it announced soon because we can't do this forever.
I don't think they're planning to do it forever.
No.
It's got to take a while to get a TV show going.
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh,
you
yeah.
know,
and it's
but
not
they're,
like
they're making the titles seem important. Maybe the women's one could use a little more than it's getting.
Well,
but-
and I think Martinez may be injured, so they've
let's just
kind of
have an
shelved that for a little bit.
interim champion. Let's just do
I
that
know.
again.
Well, Ring of Honor doesn't have a history of that, so I think we're just putting that away.
I want an interim women's champion, and I want that person to get injured, and then we have an interim women's champion. That's
a double interim. Double I?
A double I women's Ring of Honor women's champion, and then everybody comes back for a 3-way match, and then
there we go.
Blow it off.
There we go.
there.
Oh, it's like the UK,
or maybe you have an interim
the
champion,
interimness,
and the woman that wins just has to pick up like 10 belts and hold them all up. Like I won,
and that's part of the challenge. Like
That is part of the challenge.
That's the burden that goes with
if
it.
you
right?
can't pick them up, then you can't win the match.
No, absolutely. That's just like who can carry this over the line, kind of thing. Who can put 11 belts up a ladder?
It's getting to be like let's make a deal or something. Like
Right.
that. Beat the clock, but something like that.
So as of this recording, we don't know what's going to go on with the EVPs and CM Punk. It sounds like they're going to be out for a while, and Kenny Omega, as of today, is just hanging out in Sega of Japan. But they're doing stuff they were scheduled to do anyways. So this isn't just...
Who was he eating with? Was that Ibushi?
Was it Ibushi? Was he hanging with Ibushi?
I saw
Makes
pictures
sense.
of him with some... I thought it was Ibushi or something like that, and they're just sharing their food. They're sharing each other's plates with each other.
That seems about right. Comings and goings. Claudio, of course, comes to AEW. Big fanfare. That was huge to see him at Forbidden Door. That was really awesome. And you may say grabbing the brass ring that he deserved all this time, right? So.
Yeah, but this year with many people, and I probably am one of them. The honeymoon phase is over with AEW.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely
some
a
of the
case,
warts
yeah.
are coming out.
Yeah,
and with me, one of them is Jonathan Gresham. I would have loved. How many matches would you have loved to see at AEW with Jonathan Gresham, Bryan Danielson, and CM Punk, Adam Page, Kenny Omega. If he got back, there's so many good matches you could have had with that guy. And it sounds like, I don't want to say obviously, it sounds like communication problems caused some problems here with some other things. He wasn't presented too strong as Ring of Honor champion. They had him be one of the people that big giant Indian guy stomped on. What was it? The guy that's hanging out with Jay Lethal.
Yeah, I can never remember his name either. So, yeah,
but
let's not butcher the name.
Yeah, very, very fair.
But no, I still just think I don't know if there's anything explicitly wrong. It's not proven to me that there's anything explicitly wrong with that, other than there's several people that have problems with the dealings in AEW. But a lot of people have problems with the dealings in WWE, in the indie I work whatever weekend. Like listen, like I hear the same conversation across all, and I feel that. And I've said this multiple times, so this is a pre-recorded version of this. I just feel that just because somebody has a problem, bounces out, unless something very explicitly horrible happened, like the, say, CM Punk situation, right? And the backstage brawl, whatever the case may be. Like, unless something explicitly like that happens, I just think it's just personalities. I really do just think it's personalities. Not jiving, not communicating appropriately, feeling slighted for their position in the company, and it blows up instead of being taken care of. This is a thing. I'm listening to the Brian Gerwitz. Hope I said it right. Gewirtz book, and I feel like that's what's happening there too, right? That he's talking about a lot of backstage stuff and some conflicts that arose, and it's just like that communication and like the biggest personalities are in professional wrestling. I say this all the time, and we were like, why are people act crazy around pro wrestling? It was like, what kind of brain does it take to get into this? No matter what position you're working with this company, especially the people in the ring, right, to do this and put so much into it. So I think that just,
you go in and you have an expectation. Once it's company, you have an expectation. You're the world champion of Ring of Honor. You have an expectation. And when that expectation gets disappointed and, instead of being thrown as strong, you have a match with Dalton Castle, and you can't give him some matches with like Dante or some a couple of good wrestlers.
Gresham was injured for a few weeks too, so remember that.
Okay.
So there could have been some more going on there, but when you say, why has this guy been around for a month? It was like, well, it could be an injury, could be prior commitments. AEW does not bring everybody on. The Bucks and everybody were already on vacation for the week, from what I understand. Or no, the Bucks weren't, but Kenny was, and Moxley was, or things like that. Like, they on purpose do not bring everybody in every week, especially the big names, because you don't want to overdo it for the most part.
It's about expectations. When I did this show, I was expecting that I would get the Hulk Hogan mug. And instead, you give me this lame Google mug.
I don't know. I was speaking of bad decisions. I don't know. It's the one I grabbed. So I did actually.
Well, I'm not going to scream and stomp off. So I promise I'll work with it.
I mean,
I'm a professional.
The idea of Hulk Hogan riding a shark is actually kind of fun. So I did actually get to see.
That's a good point.
I got to see the other beach shop. We drove by it by chance in Orlando last month. I went to the one in Clearwater when I picked up this mug that says Orlando on it.
What do they sell at the Hulk Hogan beach shop?
Hulk Hogan merchandise, signed stuff,
okay.
like just anything with Hulk. I mean, Hulk Hogan has like so much merch over the years, right? So yeah, it's really just
a bunch of shirts that say brother.
Yeah, it's a little shirts that say brother and say beach shop and things like that. So I mean, it's fun, if you're a Hulk Hogan fan.
The clerks there, the people behind the counter have to say brother after everything.
Yes. I'm not even supposed to be here today,
Can I help you, brother?
I'm not even supposed to be here today, brother. So, but yeah, but anyways,
okay.
I kind of hid it away because my Hulk Hogan is not really, Terry, again, Hulk Hogan fan, Terry's a dick,
Mm-hmm.
And I actually will not go back to the beach shop because I do not want to support Terry. I will not buy a new Hulk Hogan shirt,
Yes.
But anyways,
Okay.
Elias has a twin brother this whole time. That's news.
That's probably news to a lot of people in Pittsburgh.
That's right.
I don't know if anybody in Pittsburgh thought that Elias had a brother, but I guess he does. He's got a whole family.
Yes.
Of single name. None of them have a last name.
No, they don't. They don't.
They're just. I mean, in life, in the history of people like choose last names and they come up with owners, and just his family, just all these centuries, just never came down to picking a last name, and they're just like, why do we need one? They're just, okay, you're Edward. You're Elizabeth. Everyone has a first name that begins with E, and that's it. Mm-hmm. It's all simpler that way. They all have social security numbers. The world can figure each one of them out. So it's fine.
You went really deep on that. Interesting. Let's see what else we have here. We lost Dave Hebner and Tim White this past year.
Oh gosh.
As far as the lost side. Let's see what else we have. A lot of people were let go and brought back with the Triple H era regime, I guess, maybe. Kyrie returns to Stardom. Shane McMahon went out at the Royal Rumble.
Oh gosh.
And then was let go the next day from WWE for some reason.
He was handing Riddle's ass to him.
Yeah.
Because he's just that good at fighting.
That was a choice.
He's just that tough. And if he's going to only have 1 or 2 matches, he's got to be over enough to have those matches or something.
I guess so. And also, word is I think he was in charge of booking the Royal Rumble. So it's just like, ugh, come on. Jon Moxley returns after rehab, and I think is having the run of his damn career.
Oh my gosh,
jeez,
what a company man!
Yeah, absolutely. And not even company man. Multiple company man, because he's doing what he did there. I think I said this on a post earlier today or yesterday about the PWI 500 just came out as of this recording. I haven't got to read it, but I'm seeing a lot of reactions from stuff. Congratulations to all friends of the show that are a part of that. And it's just like that guy. I didn't even think about New Japan. I think he saved AEW from the CM Punk debacle of the summer. So Summer of Mox happened, right?
I was now on the timeline of that. When was it that CM Punk gave up the title?
That
First
was
time.
like the June 6th, I think, or something
June
like
6th.
that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you would, and Moxley got the title. So in the time frame is July 1st through June 30th. Mm-hmm. And in that time frame, Moxley had the title for like a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. So. He didn't do all the great stuff he's been doing since then. Mm-hmm. So technically, as far as PWI 500, a lot of people are like, it's a sin he's not on there, and I'm kind of looking at like, okay, I can
Moxley?
understand that. Yeah, they think he should be top 10.
Well, I think he's in there, but also again he had a good 3, 4, or 5 months that he was not involved in wrestling to lose that.
Right.
And also I don't know when the cutoff was, or you would say the cutoff is like the end of June, right?
End
or
of June.
July.
July
Okay.
1st through June 30th. Is the
so
year.
And in that time, that's he's been doing stuff with New Japan that's been amazing, and just ripping up the indies between GCW and Defy Wrestling. And again, having personally witnessed and produced a match, video produced a match that him and Tom Lawler, that was just the best, bloodiest match I've ever seen. I'm still with I'm personal match of the year right
You
there.
showed me that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think we showed
that
you
was
some
a
of
very good match.
That was an incredible match. Like an old school Crimson Mask, crazy, super violent, but not like a death match, right? And that was the fucking bloody art right there. Brutal, as Ronnie Nicole, your friend of mine, Ronnie Nicole, says. I think you've had encounters with Ronnie, right?
I have talked with her a little bit online, but I've never.
But as she
face-to-face.
says,
Anyways.
this in paraphrase because I can't remember the wonderful, beautiful, violent art of pro wrestling, and it was encompassed in that match, kind of thing. So we did. Let's see. We were in Saudi Arabia this year for Elimination Chamber. I forgot that happened. Keith Lee debuted in AEW. Cody left, debuted at WrestleMania, and then did Hell in a Cell with a torn pectoral muscle. Jeez.
Yeah, that was. I think I don't know if I talked on here, but I've talked with other wrestlers about that. About once you get it torn, the majority of the pain is done. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get a lot of further pain. So, not that it was easy for him, but I talked with one wrestler that told me the torn what Triple H got, the torn
pectoral.
pec.
Yeah.
That was he was like saying, I don't know how Triple H got through a match with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to put it down too much, but it was still a very impressive. It was a hell of a sight when he took off his jacket and you saw that purple spot right on his body there.
Mm-hmm.
And
the reaction from the crowd. Yeah.
And I mean, the most impressive to me is that Cody in that arm probably lost 80% of his use of that arm, or something like that. Because the muscle's not attached to anything, so you can't really do too much with it. And he was still able to have a banger of a 5. Was it a 5-star?
I don't know, but it was
But
still.
it was
It's
really
still.
good.
It's still like. I think, much like, say the blood and brutality enhances something like Moxley and Tom Lawler, I feel like knowing that injury, and I think it gives, and I think we talked about it at the time here on the show, having that injury, knowing somebody legitimately has that injury, now this fantasy of pro wrestling has become extra real, right?
Yeah.
And every time
it's in a hell of a cell. It's not a regular
went,
match.
And he didn't do anything crazy. They still table spots and out of the ring and stuff. But knowing that, and not, most of us having no idea, but seeing that bruise, and you're like, this can't, and whether it's just good at the selling, or if I feel like every time he took a bump, that reaction was real, right? Or at least you were bought into like, oh my God, he's still doing this stuff. He's not half-assing it. He's still doing this with a massive injury that we can see, right?
And you have to remember, a lot of us, myself at that time, we didn't hear about what happened to him.
No.
All we knew is he had a match.
Well,
and all of a sudden
they were very open about that. It was news. There was a big news thing going. We knew days going in that he was injured, and then he got re-injured while he was working out that week.
So let me ask you this: did WWE tell you?
Yes.
This? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Then,
that was part of the story. It was after Raw, so they didn't do anything on TV, but they were on social media saying Cody Rhodes has this major injury. Cody Rhodes will still be doing this match.
But to the regular fan, if you think, oh, it's one of those angle injuries. I see. It's just an angle injury.
Yeah, sure.
And then you took that off and look, oh, wait a minute. That is not an angle injury. That is a legitimate injury. So, but I get you.
Absolutely. So, let's see what else here. Again, this is a year that I'm literally listening to this book and talking about how if Clint Eastwood can be directing, scoring, and acting in movies in his 90s, Vince isn't going anywhere. Vince enjoys this too much. It's his life, and to be in a world where that has been that he, we're going to quote fingers, voluntarily stepped away from the company is still just. It's the day nobody thought was going to happen. This wasn't going to happen until he was bedridden. Actually, if he was bedridden, still be a part of it. And there was a thing actually in that book where they say about when he has been sick and couldn't make it to shows, they would set him up with a feed and monitors so he could supervise the show from his freaking bed.
Somebody give me my bedpan.
Exactly, right? So to be in a world where we have co-CEOs
Put the title on Austin Theory. Where the hell's my catheter?
where we got Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan and Triple H in charge and doing the Triple H'est of things with WWE, which is what we have been. I think so many of us have been like, we saw the proto what it could be with NXT over the last decade, right? Most of the last decade, I suppose. But I guess 8 years, and seeing what happens when he's taken out of it and realizing, oh no, he is the force, right? And I think we've seen that over the last month or so of WWE programming.
And at least Vince had the wherewithal to give Triple H all those years of running NXT so that he has that experience. If he didn't have that experience,
he's been shadowing him. He's been deeply shadowing him since he was an active wrestler. before pairing with Stephanie, right? He's just always been there. Like from my understanding, he would be there just in production, just to see how things work. And I've heard a lot of wrestlers doing that, and I think it's great. How many wrestlers are producers on things now, right? Maria Kanellis is a producer on television. Worked with Ring of Honor on the ladies division, this Wrestling Women's Army. It was her and Bobby Cruz we worked with when we were filming matches for them in Chicago. That's incredible. And I mean the faces we see in pull aparts that are producers backstage. Hey, Petey Williams is part of the company. Holy shit!
Yeah.
I forgot until I saw him last week on a pull apart that happened. Or Davari. The older Davari. Somebody was just asking me today which one because they liked our tweet today. I was like, no, that's not the one we talked to. Not Arya. I can't remember Davari's first name for some reason. But anyways, Sean. I think it's Sean.
Okay.
Sean Davari. I think they gave him like a more ethnic name when he was at WWE with was it Muhammad Hassan? I think his name was. Anyways. But and of course we're not doing this with a live chat room, so like everybody's screaming at us corrections that we're not reading right now. Sasha Banks and Naomi, probably one of the most notable walkouts of WWE this year.
Yeah.
So
they took their ball and ran.
Yeah.
And that's been a little polarizing itself. Should they have taken the ball and ran? Should they have stuck around until
right?
Because their contracts were almost up, right? Mm-hmm. So they could have just stuck around for a little while. But, we'll talk about a couple of things that were done by people because the food on their table was not dependent on how they act.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that alone makes it good or bad. But, when you get to that point, then you can just sit there and say, all right, I just don't feel like putting up with this. Mm-hmm. Or I feel like doing this or that or the other, So that's, Sasha and Naomi just decided that we've had enough and here's our titles and we're going to go. And, and they've got enough money and they've got enough things going on that they don't have to worry about it.
It did feel like this year was catching up with all of the low news cycle of the COVID wrestling.
Yeah.
We're only just over a year of quote unquote return to normal wrestling.
What would you say return to normal wrestling was in 2021?
It was that July, August area where they started doing live shows again.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when they returned and geez, what was the first pay-per-view with an audience? That wasn't, WrestleMania they did.
I thought
they did WrestleMania.
No,
but they did WrestleMania.
I thought SummerSlam was
I think it might have been SummerSlam. But they
last year.
They did WrestleMania and then they went back to the Thunderdome. And then I think SummerSlam and then around SummerSlam they went back to full audiences. Like that was the return. That was the reboot, if you will, of everything. To that normal state, I suppose. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know what's on your list, but I'll throw something on there if it's not already on there. Mm-hmm. Beginning of this year, did you think this entire year would go by, and it's looking like this already, and Roman Reigns would not lose his title?
Well, he was already over a year as champion, right?
At that point, it was maybe 15 months, somewhere in that range there. And with what we're used to, at the beginning of this year, you're sitting there saying, "Hey, he's losing at WrestleMania, probably."
No,
you honestly didn't think he was going to lose at the beginning of this year, the 1st of January. In your head, you were not thinking probably lose a title in WrestleMania. You were not thinking that.
I didn't think we were in an era where we could do in WWE that long term of a champion. The only ones that do this were. I feel like AEW would have some good 6-month or so champions. Ring of Honor was really good about having year and a half champions.
Yeah.
But I really didn't think WWE was a place that would do that.
Yeah. So at the beginning, you thought at the beginning of this year, Roman's going to lose his title at some point. Now it's pretty much everybody thinks he's probably going to hold it.
Now it's a surprise. Now it's a surprise as we're sitting here in mid-September. If he loses it before the end of the year, would be astonishing.
Absolutely.
The only way that happens is if he has a severe injury. Right? Has to be.
Something like that. And that's probably the exact reason why we don't see him very much right now. Why put him out there every single week?
Why he has now, he's under a new contract where he's now a part-timer. And after a decade, he deserves it. He didn't go do something else, comes back and whatever. Like, he has been, working his ass off, for better or for worse, in the last 10 years. And if he wants to spend some more time at home, he's had a bit of a scare over the last couple of years,
Yeah.
He did what was right for him and his family going into COVID, and stepped away, and has had the best reinvention of his life.
Absolutely.
It's been great. It's been great for honestly, it's been great for his whole family.
Do you think he's on his way to being like on the Mount Rushmore of WWE champions?
Yes. Now he is. I think that was a question mark up until now. Mm-hmm. He did it. He pushed through. Just like, hey, we all hated John Cena for a while in the middle there too. Yeah. Right? It was like, I don't know. We're really kind of shoving this down our throat until we're like, no, we like to taste.
I said that, but I'll be honest. Just real quick, I never really hated John Cena. I'm like, I see what they're doing.
No. Well, yeah,
I see what they're doing with
it was
them.
that weird thing. Both of them went through that era where people were booing them when they were faces.
I thought they were trying to do the John Cena thing with Roman Reigns.
Right.
I thought that
and they really kind of were. And then they turned the corner on it. I was just like, and it was just a genius stroke. What they did with him, at the high high level, not exactly what they did, obviously. You don't know if they changed if they turned John Cena heel all of a sudden, if it would have gone the Roman Reigns route, or if it would have gone the Stone Cold Steve Austin 2-man power trip route.
Think of that just for a small amount. Think of John Cena as Roman Reigns' role right now. Mm-hmm. John Cena doing that. He would have done that, and he would have done it really well.
Probably.
But we got Roman, and Roman is doing really
very, very well. And John has had the career that he had and did very, very well with it, and is on his next phase of that career, and that's great.
Yeah.
Good for him. He didn't have to, because The Rock had to do a turn here. Hulk Hogan got stale and had to do a turn. John Cena got to be John Cena through his entire career.
Yeah.
Right? Really?
That's
once he got his footing, the evolution, there was an evolution of sorts, but the core was always there. Mm-hmm. Hulk Hogan, you can't say that about. The Rock, you can mostly say that about, but when he turned into like the Hollywood Rock, like chicken shit heel kind of thing, like that was like, okay, even when he was like not entirely the super, maybe he was the one being booed, like say, the Hogan Rock match or something, right? Or him and Stone Cold, and he wasn't, I guess he was a heel the whole time, when you think about it, because he did the corporate that's right. He did the corporate champion for a bit.
He was like once he became heel with Nation of Domination, then he turned face, then he turned heel again, and then he really went face, and that's when he just shot off.
And then the Hollywood Rock was a little bit of a I don't know.
Yeah.
Still there was like a back and forth. Mm-hmm. Like Cena didn't have that. He really didn't have that. Like Rock fit the role that fit for the time.
Right.
And John Cena was just John Cena. After post Thugonomics, when he turned and got the rocket strap strapped to him, like he just John Cena'd the hell out of it.
He sure did. Absolutely.
Bradley, thank you so much. It's good to get you on. Look back, just take a pause.
Well, no, wait.
What?
We're not talking about the Scrum at all.
I think
you almost didn't.
We've been talking about the Scrum. Okay, well, I guess we need your opinion of the Scrum, I suppose. But I feel like I would talk about the Scrum every week since it's happened.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But what is your opinion of the Scrum EVP brawl situation at this point? Granted, and again, this is about 2 weeks before you're going to hear this.
I thought you were going to have it as a big section, because this is like the year catch up
Yes.
And that's, I mean,
I'm trying to look beyond the pale of the Scrum situation, the Triple H situation, Vince situation we're in now. I wanted to be like a reminder, like, hey, some crazy shit happened in the first half of the year. Stone Cold came back and had a match, you guys.
Okay.
Stone Cold came back and had a match, you guys.
That's true.
And Vince was on there too, in 2022.
Kevin Owens headlined WrestleMania.
Yes, he did.
And CM Punk did not.
No, he didn't. He headlined 2 pay-per-views and whined about it.
And now it's kind of like you're either young enough that you stay a CM Punk fan, or you're old enough that you realize Triple H was right.
Well, isn't that all of them? Because like it's like you're old enough to have been a Hulk Hogan. You're young enough to be a Hulk Hogan fan. You're old enough to realize that Bobby Heenan was right. And like in real life too,
Yeah. But that was his little outburst there. Was another case of somebody that sat there and says, "I've got money. I can do whatever I want here."
Well, I think it's somebody that wasn't thinking about the consequences. That thought he was on a pedestal. Has been told for the last year how much he is integral part of the success of that company. To the point where he probably thinks
I'm going to call out the Riz right now. The Riz is out there, and right now, if the Riz,
Bradley,
I'm calling out the Riz right now.
Bradley, do you?
I don't hear him. He's a coward.
Do you consider yourself a podcast guest?
I want my Patreon level to be EVP now.
Oh, okay, we could change it. We can change it.
EVP.
Actually, we might do that. Do you think you should disclose who your friends are on this podcast?
Yes, there are Riz and Sorg and Dave and Mad Mike.
Right.
And Dutters.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
Okay, now I can say stuff now.
Yes, now you can say whatever you want.
But yeah, it's just it's unprofessional. It's just somebody that just thought about themselves as much as he's accusing other people of going to business for themselves. And you had just won the world championship,
and all you need to do is bitch about something because you don't like the headlines. It's just like come on,
bitch about something that happened 4 months ago. At that point, the whole Adam Page calling him out, and like a lot of people were saying, nobody would have thought 2 thoughts about it if CM Punk didn't keep on bringing it up. Oh gosh.
What?
I'm just
you're just contemplating that.
Yeah, just contemplating that. That's in your head. You're sitting there at home and it's in your head the whole time, and you're just waiting for a moment that you can get that out there and get that. That is not a happy rich person.
No. That is a person that money did not make him happier. Getting the success that he strived for did not make him happier. And that this thing continue. I mean, it's something I think about every day. It's just like, I'm doing exactly what I want to do. Is it making me happy? And the answer mostly is yes. But and I think that's literally, like, I'm watching solar opposites, from some of the people that do Rick and Morty, right? And there's like that whole like, I have all this success in the fashion industry, this one character, and I'm sad, because I'm not with my family, kind of idea. Like to see that trope play out, in real life.
And these aren't the only Daniel Plainviews out there.
Daniel Plainview?
The from There Will Be Blood.
Okay.
That's the lead person, Daniel Plainview.
Okay.
Have you seen
I do not think I've seen this.
You have never seen There Will Be Blood. Daniel Day-Lewis. You've never...
I'm getting Daniel Day-Lewis shamed over here.
You are getting...
Oh, no.
But I'll say it another way. I know, being in business, I know many folks that have a lot of money, and they're awful, angry people. Mm-hmm. That they have to get the last word. They have to say snide things and stuff like that. And CM Punk obviously seems like he's turned into one of them. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back a couple stories here. Vince right now, I'll bet you, is absolutely miserable.
Absolutely. He wasn't in it for the money. He wasn't in it for anything but the job he was doing.
And I mean, you talk to people, like the very moment they retire, there's some depression there. Like, what am I going to do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
What am I going to do with myself?
Mm-hmm.
And
This is why I've said I'm not retiring. One, I haven't saved shit, and I spent my 401k on a business that didn't work about a decade ago. So, but still, I could not imagine not doing the things like I'm doing.
Yeah.
I need to continue doing this in some fashion as long as I physically can. Like I will find a project. This is just how, and maybe something will change where like, oh, I need to go away from this. It's going to be, I am done with this. Not, this idea, we're getting a whole other thing. This idea of working into a retirement so you can actually relax, which you may or may not get to, is a wild concept. And, and again, like you said, how many people
relax is a, there's a lot of definitions to that.
Oh, absolutely.
Some people might think it's just sitting in a boat all day.
I want to retire so I can enjoy my life. It's like, then what you been doing the last 30 years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's that kind of thing. And now wrestlers have a shelf life, obviously. So they do need to consider something like that.
They have a bump card.
Yeah, they have a bump card, brother. But again, but also there are many jobs in wrestling, that you can still have value. So and
you can be
Vince
be an agent.
It takes a very. I've determined that I will never be rich because I am not willing to do the things that would get me rich.
Well, I am.
Okay.
So
Bradley Buck's coming soon. Yes, but Vince was that guy that did the things to be successful, and I would say accepted no other option.
Yeah.
Right. And
did you hear that when Triple H took over and he was having all these interviews, and I know one of them he said, "Hey, I figured out this whole brand new thing. I figured out it's called sleep." And I get a lot of that now, and I feel great.
Yeah, he's talking about driving his kids to school and everything like that,
versus
right?
Vince telling sleep is the enemy.
Yeah. Or sneezing or anything like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, I did add There Will Be Blood to my Paramount Plus. Apparently has it.
You need to watch that.
Okay, it's at 158 minutes. Jeez.
It's a very, very
okay.
good
All
movie.
right, we'll put that in there and see what's up there. So
the guy that played Riddler in Batman,
Hmm.
he is in that movie, and he puts on a hell of a performance.
Not
as well.
Jim Carrey.
Not Jim Carrey.
The other
Paul Dano.
Okay.
I think his name is.
Okay.
You're going to have many people are really like, why the hell have you not watched this movie yet?
Okay, I'll put it in there.
Academy
I'll put it in
Award-winning
there.
movie.
I got that. I just got Get Out. I bought Get Out with my my Amazon my Amazon money that I get for doing Amazon Day. So we got this working.
I'm a guy that doesn't watch enough movies. I have
Right?
the trilogy of the Lord of the Rings DVD sitting around, and I got it when I was unemployed. Like I was going to watch it someday, and I haven't touched it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't act like I've watched every movie I'm supposed to watch.
Absolutely. I keep hitting that. Bradley,
Yes.
what'd you learn from this year in wrestling so far?
I would say on the Pittsburgh indie scene, the biggest and most surprising change that I saw was that I started wearing ankle socks. See my ankle socks? I used to have the long socks, and I had too many conversations with the runway, and I just shut them up. So I was like, all right, fine, ankle socks, there. Now shut up and go lose your Rise tag team titles to somebody.
I meant something like pertinent to the news of the year and the landscape of pro wrestling, but I guess that counts. But that's fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine.
It's. I mean, you learned a lot, and like I said, the honeymoon phase with AEW is over. Mm-hmm. The warts are being shown. We learned truly who CM Punk is.
Mm-hmm.
and learned, and that's a little bit of, there's other personalities, political and otherwise, you could bring in, but, when the emperor's clothes type of thing, where you just convince yourself that, oh, this guy's right, he's all right, he's right all the time, he has to, oh shit, he's wrong the whole time. Wow, okay, all right, well, screw that guy.
Absolutely.
Type of thing.
Absolutely. What
did you learn?
I think we learned that, nobody's invincible. Nobody's invincible in pro wrestling. No show is invincible. No promotion is invincible. No head of a company is invincible. What did I say? The only thing that can bring Vince down is Vince, and that's exactly what happened.
Absolutely.
I've been saying that for a while. So, well, thank you, Bradley. Heel Bradley on the social medias.
Thank you.
Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for being a part of the show, contributor to the show. Thank you for being the
EVP
#1 Pittsburgh independent wrestling fan.
Oh, please.
You were like the first one to buy a ticket to VCW. So you are literally VCW's #1 fan.
That's just because it's Beastman.
Yes.
Beastman
Pro, baby.
And just a shout out to him. He started a very good promotion.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. By the way, I ran into somebody that worked for VCW in Detroit, and they gave me some very fun Beastman car ride stories. So I'm just gonna put that out in that idea out in the world. So, but
that was my 250th wrestling event.
Wow!
So
congratulations. There he is. All right. I still have blood on my shoes, by the way. I like enter my hiking shoes. So
you didn't put the oxy to it?
No.
There you go.
They're my the hiking shoes. So I went out on the trail today, and I was like, I looked down. I'm like, there's some Beastman on my shoe. I'm gonna get the scent of a rabid wolf or something will come at me. I don't know. But actually, I probably should take care of that. But anyways, thank you, Bradley. Thank you, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this special extra episode here on this week off. Hopefully, I will be well rested by the time I see you again, or who knows, maybe I'll have an encounter with a sharp plant in Arizona this weekend. Let's hope not. I successfully avoided that last time, but I don't know. I'm going to be with Dutters, and we are notoriously clumsy as a pair. So we'll see you guys next time. Mayhem out.
Just wait for the perfect time, then attack. Don't give up what you want, take it back. Wait for the perfect time, then attack. Do what you
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.